I've sometimes thought of if I showed you someday my notes app, how organized it is with screenshots, and oh my God,
I love it.
amazing. And I've even thought I should create a database with filters and tags, because when you tell me I'm looking for help on whatever, I'm looking for female founders that have had a tough time pitching to VCs, for example. I want to be able to say, punch, here's an article, here's a connection, here's this. I love that. I love that.
Well, let me ask you a question about that. I worry about that. I do. I need your help with this, and maybe we can help each other. I worry about that because that's basically what algorithms do. Okay. So we're being replaced. Okay.
And I know. Speaking of the future, right? And you know this more than anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So my question to you is, if that's your joy, and I'm not saying it's going away tomorrow, what do you do with that? I mean, I know you sort of allow yourself to indulge in it. I find that I indulge in it too much. I'll spend hours go down a rabbit hole. How do you sort of temper that? How do you?
Good question. One of the things I started doing differently last year was to channel, stuff that I consume. How can I channel it? And when I say channel, I don't mean just put it in its respective folder in the Notes app, neatly organized, right? I mean, like, literally channel. So I do trainings, for example, on the basics of the new basics, but I call them the new basics of marketing. So I have this new process that I've been validating for months now, which is how to teach startups to learn from their current customers before they start just focusing on getting more eyeballs, more prospects, more customers, etc. Because that's the easy part. Take time to learn from them so you can minimize risk, and then really just nail everything else, right? So as soon as whatever I take in, I try to channel into these different things, and that has helped me. And then when I start, sorry, just to say something else that popped in my mind right now is, when I'm reading something that's very much out of my scope, I ask myself the question now, who am I reading this for? Is it for me, or is it to be able to recommend, or to, that was a tough one.
Ooh, that's, you know what? And not only is that profound, but that's something that no one talks about. And that I think we should. It may not seem like the biggest problem in the world, but you just basically, that goes back to the idea of me not sharing enough, right? And I think I overshare. But when I look at the amount of content that I take in, the amount of just all of the information, I mean, there's got to be a word for people who just love information and data. I don't know.
Hoarders, just
data pervs.
Data pervs. I love that.
Let's not normalize that. Yeah. No, but it's
going to be a headline. That's going to be the headline on top.
Data perv. I am too. But it's true. So, but here's what I take away from what you said that I think is so profound. It's that when I look at, and like you, I have a notes thing that's like, and on different platforms, it's insane. And it almost feels sad that I'm taking all of this in and it's just sitting there, and I go, and I'll look at it and go, what do I do with this? Right? Like, what is, and that's really the question with, and listen, as a world, as a society, we're struggling with the idea of drowning in data. We are drowning in data and we don't know what to do with it. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to figure it out. Actually, we're in the process of building technologies that will be able to handle all of the data that we have. But right now it just feels overwhelming, and a lot of it is unnecessary. So I think you have what I'm hearing from you that's helping me to sort of think about this differently is that when it comes to sharing on LinkedIn or on the other platforms, to think about what I take in, and I am deliberate because I do think deliberately, ooh, this would be good for this person or this platform or this, but to be even more intentional about it. And to understand that even the process of gathering data and information requires a certain amount of energy output. And if you're putting out more energy to gather that data and information than what you're giving in, taking in, from people who are learning from it and responding to it, that might be a problem.
That's actually a really interesting point. In terms of input output, is it really worth your time? No, what do you get out of it? Yeah.
Yes. Damn.
I think I need a moment of silence.
I do too. Oh, I need a drink.